We've often discussed Pakistan's decoupling from the Islamic world on this show, how Islamabad is steadily slipping from the good books of Arab nations, especially Saudi Arabia, the de facto leader of the Islamic world. Tonight, let me tell you the story of two visits, two high-profile and very similar visits that ended very differently and that stand as proof of the Saudi-Pakistan breakup. They also reaffirm how Saudi Arabia, along with the UAE, is increasingly leaning towards India. Our story begins in the month of August this year. The Pakistan Army Chief, General Qamar Javed Bajwa, travelled to Riyadh. The visit followed weeks of posturing by Islamabad on Kashmir. The Pakistan Army Chief went there expecting the Sheikhdom to take a firmer line against India's policies in Kashmir. In fact, the Saudi Crown Prince was expected to give the Pakistan Army Chief an audience, a loan concession and a medal. But all that General Bajwa received was a royal snub. The Saudis apparently changed their mind. There was no meeting with the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, no loan concession, definitely not a medal. General Bajwa had to settle for customary meetings with Saudi officials. He returned to Islamabad empty-handed, and his visit was an epic failure. 4 months later, another visit is underway. On the 9th of December, the Indian Army Chief, General M.M. Naravne, embarked on a 6-day-long tour of West Asia. His third foreign tour this year, and the first by an Indian Army Chief to this part of the world. The purpose of the visit was to create a military alliance with the two Gulf powers. And today, on the 14th of December, as General Naravne wraps up the tour, let's take a look at the highlights. On Friday, the Indian Army Chief received a guard of honor at the headquarters of the UAE's land forces. He held talks with the commander of land forces, Major General Saleh Mohammad Saleh Al-Ameri. The two men discussed defense cooperation between India and the UAE. The Army Chief also visited the Land Forces Institute and its infantry and armor schools. Then on Sunday, the Indian Army Chief arrived in Saudi Arabia. He visited the Ministry of Defense in Riyadh. He received a guard of honor by the Royal Saudi Land Forces. He met top Saudi generals like Saudi Arabia's Chief of Staff, General Fayyad bin Hamid Ruwaili, and the commander of Saudi Arabia's joint forces, General Mutlaq bin Salim bin Al-Azima. The discussions largely revolved around ramping up defense cooperation in strategic areas. Now look at the stark contrast between these two visits. The Pakistan Army Chief gets snubbed by the Saudis as a red carpet is rolled out for the Indian Army Chief by both the UAE and Saudi Arabia. New Delhi has not only managed to de-link Islamabad from the Arab world, it is set to become a major security partner of the Gulf powers. Let me explain. Reports around General Naravne's visit to the Gulf have highlighted a potential sale of the BrahMos missile. Both Abu Dhabi and Riyadh have reportedly shown interest in buying the Indo-Russian missile system. A number of other proposals are also on the table, like joint military exercises. In recent years, the Indian Navy has held drills with the UAE and Saudi Arabia. In the month of March in 2018, India and the UAE conducted their maiden naval exercise. It was called Gulf Star 1. In 2019, India and Saudi Arabia announced their first joint naval drills. They were delayed due to the outbreak of the Wuhan virus. The Indian Army Chief's visit could lead to a rescheduling of these drills. Reports also say that Indian contingents could soon be sent to Saudi Arabia and the UAE. What for? For the protection of the House of Saud. And this is significant, and let me explain why. Over the years, thousands of Pakistani troops have been sent to the Royal Kingdom. Elite Pakistani commandos have been tasked with guarding the royal family in Riyadh. But Islamabad has refused to allow Pakistani troops to join Saudi and Emirati troops in Yemen. Reports say the Gulf powers now want India to be on board in Yemen. Indian contingents is what they want to join their troops in Yemen. As Islamabad is made to pay back its loans, look at the headline published by Pakistan's Geo News today. China bails out Pakistan to repay $1 billion Saudi debt. Pakistan has been forced to pay another tranche of a $3 billion loan it borrowed from Saudi Arabia. And much like the last time, China has again come to Pakistan's rescue. So let me say this one more time. In its obsession with Kashmir and attempts to please China, Pakistan is slipping from the good books of the Arab world. It has failed to be worth the oil it's getting from Arab nations. And India, of course, has risen to the occasion. It is building on this strategic partnership with Gulf powers. Thank you for watching Gravitas on WION's YouTube channel. If you want to stay up to date with what's happening around the world, then subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share. Thank you very much for watching WION. World is One.